Hello everyone. Let us discuss one next topic on Indian history. So welcome to the virtual learning programs. The last sessions we are talking about the ancient history and the advantages and the upcoming situations related to that. So based on this tree we are discussing the topics. When we go through the tree again we can find that we are discussing about the literary sources. Literary sources again classified into three categories: religious, secular, Sangha. And mainly the religious literature again split into three: Brahmanical type, Buddhist type, and Jainism. In the last session, we discussed almost all the topics in Brahmanical and Vedic literature like Vedas, Brahmana, Aranyakas, Vedanga Upanishad, Sutra Smritis, Purana, Mahakavyas. Hope you revised those topics. In this session, we are talking about the next block of religious literature, that is the Buddhist. When we deal about the Buddhist literature, we will give focus on the Tripitakas, Jatakas, Pali, Sanskrit literatures and others. So let us start with the topic. Buddha literature or Buddhist literature, basically we have to learn about the Tripitakas, Jataka Kathakal, Jatakas or Pali language and its importance, and some mudras and the basic facts. So mudras are the representation of the arms and the fingers by the Buddha. So those points we are discussing in this session and the coming sessions. For the prelim exams and for the main exams, Buddhist literature is very important. So we have to keep little important when we deal with this Buddha literature. Let us start with the Tripitaka. Three Tripitakas are there. Pitaka means baskets. So Tripitaka means they have three Pitakas, three baskets where the Buddhist or the Buddhist monks write their rules and regulations, their stories, and they kept these papers, or at that time it's called as leaves. These papers or leaves they kept it in three baskets. So that's why it's called as Tripitaka. Okay, and Pitakas means baskets. Which are those three Pitakas? First one is Vinaya Pitaka, second one is Sutta Pitaka, and the third one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. Okay, so Vinaya Pitaka, Vinayam means what? Discipline. So the code and conducts that a monk should follow when he be there in the Buddhist category or the group. That is Vinaya Pitaka all about. Sutta Pitaka is those sayings by Lord Buddha. Buddha and his sayings, they just kept those in leaves and they kept those box in Sutta Pitakas. And the third one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka, they again classified into 7 categories. Okay, and they kept all those points related to the literature stories, and the parts are there with the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So basically there are 3 types of Pitakas: Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. And next we are talking about the life of Buddha. After the Pitakas, we will talk about the life of Buddha. So the initially the name of Buddha was not Buddha, it was Gautama or Siddhartha. He is the king there, and he born on 563 BC at Lumbini, Nepal. Okay, so he's a princess at that time, and then he realized the value of enlightenment and all. So Gautama or Siddhartha, born in 563 BC at Lumbini. So the place of birth is very important. And he born in the Kshatriya clan or Sakya Kshatriya clan of Kapilavastu. Okay, so that box is very important point related to Buddha's life. And definitely some kind of changes happened throughout his timeline, and he left home at the age of 29 and he got nirvana. Nirvana means he got the enlightenment at Bodh Gaya at the age of 35. Okay, and the first sermon, the first teaching of Buddha happened in Sarnath near Varanasi, and he died. We call the death of Buddha as Parinirvana or Maha Parinirvana, something like that. And he died at the age of 80 at Kushinagar, UP. So those places are very important: Lumbini and Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, and Kushinagar. It's very important. Last time they also asked the same question related to the Buddha's life. And next, family related things related to Buddha. Buddha, the father, the parents, the king was Sudodana and mother was Mahamaya. So they have one child, that is Gautama Buddha, or in other words Siddhartha. Okay, and he got married to Yashodhara, okay, the wife Yashoda, and have one son named Rahul. Okay, and there is some other relation you have to be keep in mind. That's Devadatta. Devadatta is a cousin of Buddha, and Alarakalam, it is a guru who teach him the first how to meditate and all. And the important person, that is Sujata, okay, and at the place where we know that he first enlightened in Bodh Gaya, and during that time Sujata was there with Buddha, and she gave rice, milk and other food products or food supplements for Lord Buddha. So that are the main important family related points related to Buddha. Next we will talk about the important facts connected with Buddha's life. Definitely birth. So there are 5 events connected with the Buddha and his life, and we used some symbols for representing these 5 important events. The first important event is a birth, and the symbol connected with the birth of Buddha is lotus and bull. And the next one is great renunciation, that is represented by the symbol horse. And nirvana represented by definitely Bodhi tree. And the first sermon at Sarnath, it was represented by 8-spoke wheel or Dharma Chakra. And the fifth one, that is Parinirvana or death, we represents that Parinirvana or death with the symbol Stupa. So the Stupa is also very important. These are the 5 events and the symbols connected with the Lord Buddha. Okay, and next we are talking about the important noble truths. There are 4 noble truths Buddha follows, and the followers of Buddha has to follow. And the first one, the real fact. Buddha always says that world is full of sorrows. So definitely, world is definitely full of sorrows. That means the cause of your whatever sorrows you have is the point desire. That what is the cause of all worries or sorrows? The desire of something. So cause is always desire. You want to conquer with the desire or get rid of the desire. You have to allow all sorrows can be removed. Okay, how we can remove the sorrows or how we can get rid of the desires? The solution is there with Buddha. The only way is Eightfold Path. You have to follow this path. So now the question is 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 noble truths. You have to reach that kind of path, the Eightfold Path. Then now the question is, what is Eightfold Path? Eightfold Path is very simple. Okay, you need to have a proper vision. Okay, you need to have a proper vision. You need definitely have a right aim. You have a right speech, right proper action, proper livelihood, right effort, correct awareness, and do some meditation. So these 8 points, we call it as Ashtanga Marga. Ashta means 8. So Ashtanga Marga, these are the Eightfold Path we have to follow, or the disciple has to follow. And the person who follows this, anyone who follow this path or Ashtanga Marga, then he is in the middle path. Definitely one point of time he will definitely attain salvation. This is the basic ideology that Buddha follows always. And next point we have to know about what are the jewels associated with the Buddha or the Buddhist culture. The 3 jewels associated with Buddha is Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddham Sharanam, Dharmam Sharanam, and Sangham Sharanam. These are the 3 jewels. So Buddha definitely represents like the point, the enlightened one, the enlightened. Dhamma is a doctrine you have to follow, and Sangha, the order, the group or the order of the Buddhist council or Buddhist group. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha are the 3 jewels of Buddhism. So don't forget this point. Next, we have to learn a little more about the outline story or the outline history of Buddhism. We split the total history of Buddhism into 6 important phases. The first phase is he got enlightened, okay, and he covers his death and the spread of Buddhism in the East, and the first 2 Buddhist councils happened in this session or this phase of Buddhism. So enlightenment covers his death, spread of Buddhism in the eastern area, and the first 2 Buddhist councils happened in the first phase of Buddhism. So we are just outlining the history, so don't forget the points related to the first phase. Now we need to know about the second phase. Second phase start with the conversation of Ashoka. So second phase definitely have a connection with Ashoka, and the third council we initiated in the second phase. And definitely the council decided to send missionaries to different parts of the world to spread Buddhism. So that is the first phase and the second phase. Now we talk about the third phase. Third phase covers the Sangha Kanva period. After Ashoka, we have to know about the Sangha Kanva period. And there is a loss of royal patronage in the eastern India. Okay, eastern India, they lose the patronage. And rulers in the northwestern India adopts the Buddhism. That is highlighted in the third phase. And tolerant attitude of Shatavahanas also highlighted in this phase of time. And we definitely create some kind of centers, Buddhist centers at Amaravati and Nagarjunakonda in the southern area. So what are the important highlights in the third phase? The eastern decline and the northwestern adoption, and also the southern area we have some kind of upcoming centers like Amaravati and Nagarjunakonda. Okay, and this is the third phase. And the fourth phase, very important. Fourth phase, it covers the Gupta period. Okay, so after Ashoka we have Shunakanva period, and then comes the Gupta. And during this time there is a there are lots of Chinese travelers like Fa Hian or Huan Sang, and here in this fourth phase we can see the Fa Hian testification. And at this point of time we have to remember the one point, that foundation of Nalanda University by Kumaragupta I. Okay, that is a highlight in the fourth phase. Okay, these are the important phase: first phase, second phase, third and fourth phase. And next we have the sixth phase and the seventh phase. Sixth phase, the patronage is by Harsha, and Huyan Sang's tour has happened in this time period. After that Fa Hian, we have Huyan Sang here, and then comes the seventh phase, and we can definitely say the last or the decline phase we can call the seventh phase as. There is a revival of Buddhism in the eastern area, eastern India or eastern side of the world, and due to its patronage by the Palas on the 8th 9th century AD, there is a patronage by the Palas. So definitely there is a revival in the eastern area, and definitely they have laid down the foundation for Vikramashila University by Dharmapala. And after decline of the Palas during the time, we have decline in the Buddhism sector too in the seventh phase. So important phase: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh. So these are the important phases. Go through the slides again and make your own notes. Now we have to know about the important councils. Council, that means meetings of Buddhism. So the important councils, what they did, the three important factors we have to by heart in each council is where it happened, who was a chairman, who is a patronage, and what is the result of the council. So one by one I can explain. If we talk about the first council of Buddhism, it's happened in Rajagriha, and the chairman of this council was Mahakashyapa. Okay, and patronage was Ajasatru. Patronage means the king at that time, Ajasatru, and it is in 483 BC. What is the result of this council was settlement of Sutta Pidaka and Vinay Pidaka. That means they they discussed and create the Sutta Pidaka and Vinay Pidaka during this time. That means the first council. Then comes the second council. It happened in Vaishali, and the chairman was Savakami, and the patronage was Kalashoka 383 BC. Okay, and what is the result of this one? What is the result of this one is, it is by division of Buddhist Sangha into Orthodox and Unorthodox. So there is split happened in the Sangha. Sangha means the group or the order. One is Orthodox and next one is Unorthodox. Orthodox means Sthavira Vadins. That means Sthira means stable. Okay, stable Vadins or Sthavira Vadins or Theravadins. And Unorthodox means Mahasanghikas. So classification was happened in the second council at Vaishali. Then comes the third council. So third council is the next important one. It happened in Padaliputra. Chairman was Mogaliputta Tisa, and the patronage was Ashoka 250 BC. What is the result of the third council? The result of the third council was the establishment of Sthiravadins as a true followers, and the final compilation of the Tripitakas. And at this council we added the third one. Okay, that is the third one was added, that is Abhidhamma Pitaka was added here in the Padaliputra third council. Okay, and don't forget the point. And the fourth council, the important ones happened in Kashmir. At Kashmir, the chairman was Vasumitra, and helped by Ashogosha, the author of Buddha Charita. Ashogosha was also the disciple and the follower of Ashoka and somewhat cousin. So the author of Buddha Charita. and patronage was Kanishka, the 1st century AD. And what is the result of this council? What is the result of the fourth council happened at Kashmir? The important result is the Buddhism was divided into two sects. Okay, and there is a deliberation of Sanskrit instead of Pali. So Pali language is the old language they followed till that point of third council. But in fourth council it happened in Kashmir, they deliberately changed it into Sanskrit. And there was a division in among the sects, Buddhist sects. There is a Mahayanist and the Hinayanist. Mahayanists, they spread to the other countries, the Central Asian countries and the China. And Hinayanist, they spread to the Ceylon, that means Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand and Southeast Asia. So that is the main important councils of Buddhism and the results. Okay, so go through this point, it's very important. Now we have discussed about the mudra and the sects, different Hinayana, Mahayana details of Buddhism in the next sessions. So hope you understand this point. Have a great day.